Aurelian Prime was the kind of city that didn't bother pretending it wasn't showing off. Its towers sparkled like diamonds someone had spilled across the void, and every step on its glass streets echoed a soft chime, as if to remind visitors how poor they probably were. Kale tried not to think about that part. He clutched the small star crystal in his gloved hand, feeling the hum of its faint inner light. To him, it was beautiful, a piece of a forgotten moon, carved by his own hands. To everyone else waiting in the royal hall, it probably looked like something you'd trip over in a mining shaft and curse about later. When the grand doors opened, Princess Lysara entered with all the grace of someone who had never known gravity. She glowed literally, her gown pulsed with bioluminescent threads that shifted hues in time with her heartbeat. Kale swallowed, stepped forward, and offered the crystal with both hands. "For you, your radiance. A token of—" She didn't let him finish. One delicate eyebrow lifted. "A rock?" she asked, her voice smooth as cryoglass. The courtiers around her snickered like well-trained hyenas. How quaint. Do humans often mine their love out of rubble? Kale's ears burned. "Only the best rubble," he muttered, which got him exactly one horrified gasp and a few muffled laughs. The princess waved him away with a smile sharp enough to cut through humility. The guards moved in, but Kale bowed instead, forcing a grin. "Thank you for your time, your radiance. I'll go polish my rubble." As he turned to leave, something caught his eye, a woman leaning casually by the archway, her long black hair falling over one shoulder, her white skin faintly luminous under the hall's light. She had long, pointed ears and a smirk that seemed to say that could have gone worse. Kale had no idea who she was, but somehow, he felt less like a fool. The rain on Aurelian Prime wasn't water. It was a thin mist of purified ions that tasted faintly like static and regret. Kale trudged through it anyway, coat collar high, boots squeaking against glowing pavement. The star crystal still sat in his pocket, dim now, as if embarrassed for him. He needed somewhere quiet, somewhere that didn't laugh in crystal chandeliers. The sign ahead flickered. The drifted scale, drinks, repairs. Questionable advice. Close enough. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and spice. The bartender looked up from polishing a curved metal mug. She was tall, calm, and entirely too composed for someone running a dive in the shadow of the royal spire. Her long black hair shimmered faintly, and when she tilted her head, Kale saw the unmistakable shape of her ears, long, elegant, and not remotely human. "You look like you just lost a duel with a princess," she said, voice low and amused. Kale sat heavily on the nearest stool. "Is it that obvious?" "Only to those who have also lost duels with princesses," she replied. "Drink." He nodded. "Something strong, maybe something that makes me forget my social collapse." She poured a luminous blue liquid that fizzed like a bad idea. "How special," she said. "Guaranteed to make your problems taste better." Kale took a cautious sip and blinked. "It tastes like courage and poor judgment." "Perfect," she said, smiling. "Name S. Vera and you." Kale, professional miner, part-time royal embarrassment. Her laughter was soft but real. "Then congratulations, Kale, you're in the right bar." And for the first time that night, the hum of the city outside didn't sound quite so cruel. By morning, the story had already spread through Aurelian Prime like cheap perfume. Every hollow screen buzzed with headlines. "Human miner offers pebble to princess." And "Star crystal or star comedy." Vendors were even selling imitation Kale rocks with smiling caricatures of his face engraved on them. Kale tried not to look. He just kept his head down and welded a broken thruster core in Dock 47, pretending that the rhythmic sparks were applause for his persistence, not the universe's laughter. That evening, Vera appeared again, gliding through the smell of plasma and metal. "You're famous," she said, holding up a sweet wrapper with his cartoon printed on it. "Want an autograph?" "Only if you're planning to burn it afterward," Kale replied, sealing the thruster with one last hiss of blue flame. "Apparently, I'm the galaxy's newest idiot romantic." She leaned against the ship hull, arms crossed. eyes glimmering faintly gold under the dock lights. Idiots are underrated. They do brave things for the wrong reasons and somehow make the universe more interesting. Is that supposed to make me feel better? No, she said. It's supposed to make me laugh. He sighed, half smiling. Glad someone's enjoying this. I am, she admitted. You gave something real to someone who only knows how to wear mirrors. That's rare. Her tone softened in a way that caught him off guard. Before he could answer, she added, also, your face when she said rubble was priceless. Cale groaned, covering his eyes. If I ever dig another hole, it'll be to hide in. Dig too, Vera said, smirking. I might join you. For the first time since the humiliation, Cale laughed, a small, reluctant sound that felt like the first breath after drowning. The days that followed were stitched together with laughter, repairs, and too much caffeine from Vera's questionable coffee machine. A relic that hissed and rattled like it was powered by tiny, angry spirits. Cale spent more time at the drifted scale than in his workshop, fixing whatever piece of equipment Vera claimed was possessed by bad engineering. She'd watch him work, her long ears twitching subtly when she smiled, and toss out questions that felt casual but never were. So, she said one evening, cleaning glasses that never seemed dirty, why offer a crystal to a woman who already lives in a palace of them? Cale shrugged, tightening a bolt. Because I thought she'd see the difference between a shiny thing and something with a heartbeat. Vera tilted her head. She didn't. No, he said, then smirked. But she did teach me not to gift rocks to people who own moons. That made her laugh, a real one this time, not her usual quiet amusement. The sound drew a few curious glances from other patrons. You're strange, Cale, she said finally. Most humans I meet either beg for luck or run from trouble. You stand in front of it and make jokes. I tried running once, he said, wiping grease off his hands. Trip hazard. Her laughter lingered in the air long after the moment passed. But as the lights dimmed and the hum of the city filtered through the bar's thin walls, Cale caught a flicker of something else in her eyes, not just amusement, but memory. Ancient and deep, like someone who'd seen whole suns burn out and still found reasons to smile. He didn't ask, and she didn't explain, but the silence between them felt strangely alive, like the quiet hum of a ship right before it decides to fly. It started with the sound of heavy boots on metal, and the sharp click of plasma rifles being cocked. A sound Cale had learned to associate with bureaucracy in motion. He and Vera were mid-conversation when 3 armored figures burst into the drifted scale, their armor gleaming with the royal crest. By order of Princess Lysara, the lead guard announced, Cale Aaron is under arrest for public defamation of the crown. Cale blinked, mug halfway to his lips. Defamation? I called her luminous. That's practically flattery. The guard didn't laugh. Vera did a quiet, dangerous sound. You're scaring my customers, she said, voice suddenly edged with something ancient. This establishment is harboring a criminal. One guard began, but his words cut short when the lights flickered and the temperature dropped. Vera's pupils narrowed to slits, her skin faintly shimmering as scales rippled under the surface like hidden armor. A low hum filled the air, the kind that vibrated inside the bones. Cale raised a hand cautiously. Vera, maybe don't set anyone on fire this early in the evening. Only if they leave quietly, she murmured. The guards hesitated just long enough for the counter behind them to glow red-hot. A hiss of vapor followed and one stumbled back, dropping his weapon. Vera smiled, all teeth and patience. That's your cue. They left, muttering threats, armor steaming slightly. Cale exhaled. Remind me not to get on your bad side. She turned toward him, eyes still gleaming gold. You couldn't afford it. Then, softer, but I appreciate the concern. Outside, the city lights flickered, as if Aurelian itself had felt her warning and wisely decided not to test her twice. They left Aurelian Prime 2 nights later, under a rain of starlight that shimmered against the freighter's patched hull. The ship was a disaster. An old cargo hauler Cale had lovingly named Rust Bucket Glory *, though lovingly might have been a stretch. Half the lights didn't work, the reactor hummed like a beehive, and the navigation console spoke only in sarcastic error messages. Vera inspected the pilot's seat, brushed away a layer of dust, and raised an eyebrow. "You fly this thing." "I prefer the term asterisk negotiate with it," Kale said, flipping a few stubborn switches. "It's got personality. Mostly bad." As the engines roared to life, the city fell away beneath them, shrinking to a glittering wound on the planet's surface. Kale watched it disappear, equal parts relieved and uncertain. "You really didn't have to come with me," he said. Vera leaned back in the co-pilot's chair, her long ears twitching faintly. "Please, I've been kicked out of better planets. Besides, I like your kind of trouble." He glanced at her, amused. "That's a terrible thing to like." "It's better than being bored," she replied, eyes glinting. When the ship finally broke through the atmosphere and entered the soft glow of the outer orbit, Kale let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. The stars unfolded around them like an invitation. Vera smiled faintly. "You know," she said, "most humans run from dragons." Kale grinned. "And most dragons don't serve drinks." For a moment, suspended in the quiet hum of the cosmos, it almost felt like they had both found something neither had been looking for: peace, or maybe just good company. The veiled rift was no place for small talk. Space here shimmered with violet storms, and gravity rippled in unpredictable waves, tugging at everything like an invisible hand with a bad sense of humor. Kale gripped the controls of *Rustbucket Glory*, trying to steady the ship as lightning-like arcs danced across the hull. "They really sent *her after us?" he asked, eyes flicking to Vera. "They always do," she said, voice calm but eyes sharp. "Pride makes terrible navigators but excellent hunters."